bring in the man who will be responsible for justice in this case, District Attorney Greg Willis. Thank you very much for joining me, sir.
Good to be with you, Chris.
So you have charged first-degree murder on the books in your state. That means he knew what he was doing. He had time to plan and think about what he was doing, and he did it with an intent to kill. Is that what you believe?
Well, let me just say this. That's what he has been arrested for. My office has not yet received the case. But I will say this, Chris, this case has really struck a nerve in our community. I mean, people are upset, and rightfully so. I mean, we've lost a young life, and the pain is real. At a time like this, it's hard for anyone to be level-headed about this, but that's our job, to be steady, be fact-based, and to follow the truth wherever it may lead.
What do you need to know under the law in your jurisdiction for self-defense to apply?
Well, as you can imagine, it's very fact-based, and of course I can't address the particular case, but that's what's so important. For Frisco is still in their investigation, and whenever they finish that up in the next few weeks, they will forward it to my office. We will vet everything very, very carefully and ultimately prepare it for a grand jury presentation. And so the grand jury will decide whether this case goes forward. I mean, I would expect it to, because most cases do go forward, but I can't comment on this particular one.
I got it. I just want people to understand the standard. What does self-defense mean under your law?
Well, it gets pretty involved, but I can just say that I'm trying to tiptoe around it so it doesn't look like I'm commenting on this particular case. But self-defense law in most states is pretty similar when you're not talking about the Castle Doctrine or something like that. So, people look at the degree of response, what the person is defending themselves.
Back to Crime Time Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. A very heated debate has been going on behind this case. Karmelo Anthony and the death of Austin Metcalf. And in regards to this clip here, the DA, Greg Willis, speaking about the first-degree murder charge, and you hear intent, thought, etc. in regards to that charge. And I see a lot of reactions, people pointing out the knife. Why did he have the knife? Why was he at a track meet with a knife that they feel he came with some kind of criminal intent or looking for an issue? And there's a lot of stuff. In comment and let me know if you agree with that, your thoughts about the knife and the grand jury, the first degree charge, etc. We got another clip to get into with the Anthony family speaking out, and also Austin Metcalf's father taking some issue with the Anthony family. A whole lot going on. We'll get to that just momentarily. But I want to know, has anyone heard at this point, is there any footage from the track meet? You would think, being on school grounds, quite possibly there would have been cameras. Just 2025, the age of technology in which we're in, there's cameras every fucking where. But I don't know if there was there or not. But I really wonder about all this, and if there was an issue between these individuals prior to this situation or what. But hit the comments and let me know what you think about that first clip and the first degree charge, etc.
Has garnered national attention. At the center of it, two Texas high school students. 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is accused of stabbing and killing another teen, Austin Metcalf, at a track meet back in April. Now, Anthony claims it was self-defense. The outrage stems from the issue of bond, and a court reduced the bond for Anthony from $1 million to $250,000, and he is on house arrest instead of being behind bars. Some say the punishment isn't severe enough. News Nation's investigative reporter Rich McHugh spoke with a representative for the Anthony family and why he's comparing it to another high-profile case of self-defense.
Good morning, Mark. Yeah, this case has become so polarized so quickly. I had the chance to speak with a representative of the Karmelo Anthony family, Mr. Dominique Alexander. I asked him about Karmelo Anthony. I asked him about all the questions and the controversy swirling around this tragic case and the recent comparison this man made between Karmelo Anthony and Kyle Rittenhouse. Take a look. Does Karmelo Anthony feel remorse over killing Austin Metcalf?
I've never asked him that question.
Do you have any sense?
I don't know. Have not asked him that question directly. I believe the affidavit expressed what he felt at that moment, and I'll leave it at that.
Do you believe Karmelo Anthony is innocent even after he admitted this to police?
I believe Karmelo has the right to be able to create the same legal defense that anybody is afforded under these state of Texas laws and Constitution. I believe if Karmelo wants to display his self-defense claim, he should be entitled in the court of law without interference. That's what I believe.
Does Karmelo Anthony's family believe he is innocent?
I believe Karmelo Anthony's family wants the process for him to correction. I believe that the Anthony family wants to respect this process and get him prepared for his self-defense claim. I believe the Anthony family feels that, yes, Karmelo Anthony is innocent of this, and they are going to support Karmelo Anthony in this entire process in getting prepared.
Would you agree that the Metcalf family is the victim here?
Any loss of life is a tragedy. Any child that loses his life is a tragedy, no matter the circumstance. That's my answer.
On April 17th, the family of Karmelo Anthony spoke for the first time. But before the press conference began, Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff, says he was escorted out by police. Mr. Metcalf has said that he came there to pray with the family, but you had had him removed.
Like so many other families.
Why?
We wanted to give our children.
I don't know anything about Mr. Metcalf coming to pray about the family. He never expressed that to any of the staff.
He said the father being at this press conference is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. That was disrespectful. Just shows you all the character. He was not invited. You say it was a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Do you want to clarify that?
You know, at that time, I'm not above reproach or whatever. You know, it was high emotions at that time, and this whole notion that only one individual came up to him about it, that's a lie. You know, I don't want to attack this man. We asked him, we tried to, literally this press conference was delayed an entire hour. We asked him to leave several times. They created this issue that literally didn't need to be.
You mentioned, you made a kind of analogy between Kyle Rittenhouse and Karmelo Anthony. Is there anything you want to clarify about what you said? It's causing quite an uproar.
Whatever uproar it wants to create, Kyle Rittenhouse displayed this was self-defense. And all my correlation is that if Kyle Rittenhouse said self-defense, Karmelo Anthony has the rights to self-defense.
I spoke with the father of Austin Metcalf, Jeff Metcalf, and while he didn't want to do an on-camera interview to rebut these claims, he did tell me in writing, the truth will come out, justice will prevail.
So how about that? The rep for the Anthony family is comparing Karmelo Anthony to Kyle Rittenhouse. How about that for a comparison? I didn't expect that one at all, right? It just kind of blew my mind all over the place, and I really don't know what to make of it. What say you? Do you see any similarities in their situations, in their cases, as you know, that comes in regards to the whole self-defense debate and claim, as it's been stated numerous times, that is what Anthony is saying, that he was acting in self-defense, and that's what his attorneys are going to push for. Now, yes, he made some statements to police when being taken into custody, which was put out over the news off top. But I personally feel it's going to be quite some time before this case, gets to court, to trial. I feel like trial is quite a ways away. But I originally thought that this case would end in a plea bargain, a deal being struck. What say you? Do you agree? Or did you think that prior, but now you're thinking differently? Or what? I mean, that is still a possibility. There will be probably plea bargains offered, but I just don't see Anthony taking a plea. And this case continues to get a lot of news coverage, and there's, a heated debate, I guess we could say, going on in regards to this case. I see it all over the place. But again, I just got to say, this Rittenhouse thing just was like, whoa, I truly did not see that coming. But there's our updates, you know what I mean? The DA about the first degree charge, and a rep speaking for the Anthony family. As you heard, they say that one person approaching Anthony, that is not true, that there was more than one individual. So will the self-defense claims work? What do you think about everything in this update? And, you see his family says they indeed believe that Karmelo Anthony is innocent, and they're going to fight to clear his name. And how about that Austin Metcalf's father being at this press conference and, didn't leave upon being asked? He actually had to be escorted out of there, delayed the press conference and all that, where he's claiming he wanted to pray with the Anthony family. And you heard the rep saying he knows nothing about that they just asked, hey, can you kick rocks and get up out of here? And he wouldn't, and it delayed the press conference. So a lot there in the update, if you ask me. The Kyle Rittenhouse comparison, the self-defense claims. Let's discuss it all, as well as everything else that we touched on in this one. Subscribe to Crime Time Podcast and stay tuned for future updates. I'm out of here. Peace.